Good evening.
Well, maybe they forgot that you said not.
It's fine. It's cool.
Yeah, I'll send them a text anyway.
Text everyone. Yeah.
Too big. It's too big
What?
to cut the hollow. Is it too big now?
It's too big.
So should I do it?
Whatever you
Put it in the basement. These are cutting boards. I could take some home. It's just too big for us.
No, but I think originally this was a serving piece, no? Serving piece.
What?
I think whether this was when we came, no? I mean, if you tell me which boxes I can take and put on the top shelf downstairs, I'll do it tonight already.
What?
You tell me which boxes of toys I can take down and put on top of the shelf then. Jeffrey?
Yeah, Rabbi, I'm here.
Okay, fine, so come, let's start. If people forgot.
Yeah.
Look at something very interesting. Look at, if you have a Chumash in front of you, פרק כ"ב, פסוק י"ט. But before י"ט, I would like you to look at פסוק י"ג a minute. כי ייקח איש אישה ושניה, אוקיי? ולקח אבי הנערה, see, it's written without a hey, you read it with a hey. והוציאו את בתולי הנערה, the same. אבי הנערה, then, פסוק י"ט, it says נערה full, see? Now in all, look further, פסוק כ', ואם אמת היה הדבר ולא נמצאו בתולים לנערה, again without a hey. הוציאו את הנערה without a hey, yes? So I saw the first time tonight, I saw it. Something very interesting. It says every time we suspect or she is being accused, the name Nahara is written without a hey, so to say, she is not perfect. But in Pasuk Yutet, you understand the Pasuk there? Look a second, Jeffrey. This is a Gemara in Ketubot. Many people are unaware of this Gemara. Look. Ki yikach ish isha uba elea usniya. He's married. ושם לה עלילות דברים והוציא עליה שם רע ואמר את האישה הזאת לקחתי ואקרב אליה ולא מצאתי לה בתולים. See, this is a classic case. If you read it the way it's written, what is it? He's coming to court and he's accusing this woman who I married was not a virgin. So what do you want? What do you want? You want to divorce her, divorce her. If you don't want to pay ketubah, prove it. But remember, he's accusing and he's coming to court. מה הוא רוצה? ולקח אבי הנערה ואימה והוציאו את בתולי. I'm using it to put my book. ולקח אבי הנערה ואימה והוציאו את בתולי הנערה. What does it mean? It means that they are bringing a proof beyond the doubt. So look what they claim to the judges. ואמר אבי הנערה אל הזקנים, את ביתי נתתי לאיש הזה וישנאה. והנה הוא שם עלילות דברים לאמור, לא מצאתי לביתך בתולים, ואלו בתולי ביתי. What is the argument here? And look further. This is what I'm asking you is, in a minute you'll see how the Gemara learns. But look at פסוק כ', ואם אמת היה הדבר הזה, לא נמצאו בתולים לנערה, והוציאו את הנערה על פתח בית אביה, וסקלוה, she's stoned for what? Getting married and not being a virgin. Says the Gemara, the case is like this. The man is bringing witnesses and he claims that she had an affair after they were married. So, ולקח אבי הנערה ואימה והוציאו את בתולי הנערה, they bring witnesses to be meizim, his witnesses. So it's not simply was she or wasn't she. The question is, he claims that it happened after they are married. After they are married, she's a נערה נשואה או מאורסה שזינתה. So here, so if the parents were able to prove that she was, how? By simply bringing a Deas Aman, the husband, so he's a Motzi Shemra, nothing will happen to her, so look, וענשו אותו מהכסף ונתנו להביא הנערה. ואם אמת היה הדבר, איזה דבר, what he accuses, then it comes out that she's a נערה המאורסה, it was mezaneh, then she's chayav skila. You see, so you understand very good why the pasuk Yutet only, it's written here, Na'ara Shalem. Because here, after the parents proved it, it comes out that there was nothing wrong with her. She was very good. He's a Ushakran, he's a Ramai. It's a very nice shot. So I like it because every time you read it, קשה מאוד להבין מה כתוב פה. Look a second. Look a second in פרק כ"ב, פסוק י', כ"ב י'. No, not פסוק י'.
לא תחרוש.
איפה זה? Yes. פרק כ"ב, פסוק י'. Look at all the psukim. לא תזרע כרמך כליים, this is כלאי הכרם, if you plant together wheat and barley, then you have לא תחרוש בשור וחמור יחדיו, and לא תלבש שעטנז, צמר ופשתים יחדיו. So two of the three here, Shatnez is being listed always as one of the chukim. But in Parashat Kedoshim, you have also that you're not allowed to crossbreed two animals. So Polo Katuv, Ma Belama. But over there, in Kedoshim, you have three types of לא תחרוש בשור וחמור, לא תלבש שעטנז צמר ופשתים, and you cannot blend, right? Two different types of. So the Ramban, according to Rashi, all of them are examples of chukim. But the Ramban in Parashat Kedoshim says that we read it, I think, once together. The Ramban says that Hashem created the world in a certain way. Yes, we are trying to improve, quote unquote. It's if we are saying we can make the world a better place. The Ramban is saying, מה שאנחנו צריכים, Hashem נתן לנו, כן? It's okay, every time you learn the Ramban, so doctors should not do, the answer is doctors are not changing anything. Doctors are taking, or science is taking a lot of the hidden wisdom or knowledge that we have in the universe, and they are using it with the mother technology. But here I'm just using an example now, yes? I'm taking a peach, right? And another fruit, and I create a third fruit, yes? The way the Ramban looks at it, Hashem did not create the world like that. Lucas said,
I'm thinking how Hashem created the liver to regenerate. And then now the medical science is using it in order to do training.
Your example is a perfect example. I mean, Lucas said in the Pasuk Vav, since it's a very famous Pasuk. Ki yikare kan tzipor lefanecha b'derech. Are you obligated to go look for it, or ki yikare?
Oh,
Not only that, let's say you are walking, let's say you are in one of the big parks in America, yes, Zion Park, and you see kan tzipor. Are you obligated to go out of your way to do it, or ki yikare kan tzipor really means במקרה אתה פוגש בכל עץ או על הארץ אפרוחים או ביצים והאם רובצת על האפרוחים. Okay, here I don't have a good Ramban for everyone, but here maybe on Monday we'll learn the Ramban. This is a very famous Ramban, and Rambam here it is in Parashat Ki Teitzeh, and the Ramban says that I am holding with the Rambam's explanation. The Torah is teaching us here Rachamim. האם רובצת על הביצים, לא תיקח האם על הבנים, says the Ramban, because the mother has tremendous pain to see that this way you send the mother away. Yeah. If you teach it and you repeat it and you can bring articles about it, everyone feels very good. But in reality, what happened if the mother read the pasuk, רובצת על האפרוחים או על הביצים? How about if the mother is רובצת, is hovering on a branch above the אפרוחים, above the ביצים? גמרא מפורשת, שולחן ערוך מפורש גם כן, you can take the mother. The din shilluach haken is only if the mother is right there on the eggs. This case is similar to many other cases, that even if the Torah or the Rishonim are giving us like an educational type of logic, it's not the logic of the mitzvah. It's the benefits that the mitzvah is giving us. I mean, לא שהמצווה נכתבה כדי ללמד רחמים. One of the benefits of the mitzvah is, we spoke many times, the Sefer HaChinuch labels it שורשי המצווה. Shoresh is a root, not a reason. You have the same proof in many mitzvot. But you see, here's the point. The Ramban is asking on himself. Everyone learned the Mishnah in Berachot, HaOmer, עד כאן ציפור יגיעו רחמך, ושתקים אותו. מה פירוש? Salim, you remember what the Mishnah means? If someone is praying to Hashem, look, you have mercy on ציפורים, and you make sure that לא תיקח הם על הבנים, please have רחמנות.
Tell it to stop, yeah.
You stop him, why? Well, you're making the midot of Hashem rachamim? No, I'm not making it. The Ramban here in Kitei Tzeh and the Rambam both say it's rachamim. The kushia atzuma, זה לא סתם. So of course the kushia atzuma, the Ramban himself is asking it. Says the Ramban, this Mishnah in Brachot goes according to the Tana that says it ain't tam la mitzvot. Says the Ramban, near the Rambam, say yesh tam la mitzvot. Say again, yesh tam. You remember we said around Pesach, someone eats a good soup, but there are no spices, so there's no salt. Did he eat soup? Yes. Ain't tam la soup, because the spices or the salt were not there. So not tam is not the reason. Ta'amei mitzvot hapirush we have flavor. If I shake the Arba Minim, and you know there are many very interesting explanations every year before Sukkot. If I think as I shake it, and one of the reasons, I'm doing it with more excitement. But this is not for a second the reason for that. תסתכל, פה כתוב בפירוש, שלח תשלח את האם ואת הבנים תיקח לך. Many childless couples are trying to do it because the fulfilling of this mitzvah brings rachamim on a person.
So,
go ahead, yeah.
No, sorry to interrupt. It's just a quick question. So thinking about it, I mean, I've never thought about it before, I guess. The mother is there to protect the children. By you sending the mother away, isn't that worse? Because now the bird feels like she abandoned her children. So now she feels more like, I know the Gemara says she's going to go to pray to Hashem, to have rachamim, but in actuality, I don't know if birds feel the same way as humans, but
my wife agrees with your question.
Say it again?
I said my wife is sitting here with the Teilim, so she shakes the hand, she agrees with your question. But here's the point. If she is on the eggs or on the cheeks,
right.
Yes.
But then at least she fights. Then she's fighting you away to get you away.
Okay, so I told my wife coming up to the big storm that one of the Rishonim says something fascinating. He says, when you are approaching the nest, right? Why doesn't the mother go away? She realizes a stranger comes. He's not coming to take some of the leaves or to take pictures.
Right.
The answer is she's a mother. So the only reason she is there is because of her inner instinct of protecting her children.
Right.
He says the reason why taking the mother without sending the mother away is you are using an instinct against her. You know what I mean? You know, here, if I ate a fish, I had a fish today, yes? Somebody had to kill a fish for me to eat fish. Okay, so Hashem gave us permission, whatever you know. But here you are using the mother, you are using the instinct against her. You know what I mean? You know the instinct of protecting her children. He says the reason why taking the mother without sending the mother away is you are using an instinct against her. You know what I mean? You know, if you I ate a fish today, yes? Somebody had to kill a fish for me to eat fish. Okay, so Hashem gave us permission, whatever you know. But here you are using the mother This is why the Torah says, Shalech teshalach etem. Otherwise, what's the big chokhmah? Take the mother, take the children, do whatever you want. וזאת אומרת, אני משתמש ברחמים של האמא against it. The Torah says, זה אכזריות.
But again, I don't know the psychology of a bird. I don't know how a bird feels. But I'm saying if it was a human,
No, I understand.
even if you were to take, let's say this was a human situation, and you were to take a human's child, they would feel worse if they gave up on the child than if they at least put up a fight and the stronger party won.
You might be right. Yeah.
So what is the rachamim in chasing the bird away? That's what I'm trying to understand.
The only answer I can give you now is, I read many stories, when mothers came on the train, especially Hungarian mothers, with children, it was very obvious that the Nazis, if you are together with a baby child, automatically, even though you're young and ready to walk, they put you on the left. So Jewish couples, men or women, used to whisper to the mother, listen good now, give your child away to an older man or woman. At that time, the mothers didn't know why they told it. Many of them did, and many said, no, we're not. Now, the next day,
Explain to what that means when they gave it.
2 hours after they gave the baby away, the baby was a steak, yes? And the mothers found out, yes? Now, was it right or wrong of the mother to do it? This way, many of them survived, remarried, and had children. Right? But you do understand that the guilt that you just mentioned stayed with them for life.
Oh, right. 100%.
So what is better? What do you think? The mother should go with the kid, and she's going to die just to make the kid feel good till the last minute when the Rahman al-Islam, they're both being gassed.
This is not an easy question to answer at all. In the ultimate world, for sure, to give the child up. But how can you tell a parent?
It's a machloket between your logic and your emotion.
100%.
Says to you,
yep,
cannot abandon your kid. Many years ago, this is in the 70s, I think, a bus, like an Egged bus, went from Yerushalayim to Tveria through Bikat HaYarden. Rahman al-Islam, they were attacked. And the bus was on fire. There was a lady there, Mr. Rachel Cohen. She was there with 3 children. Soldiers from nearby came, and he screams to the mother, give me your hand. I'm pulling you out from the bus. She says to him, my children. And he says to her, your children are already in the fire. Give me your hand. He says, my children. Yes, she got burned with her children. She had 2 more children. This was Rabbi Zilberman's daughter. Yes? But you understand, everyone understands that all those Hungarian, I'm using again because it happened, many of them are Hungarian, but they lived with tremendous guilt. On the other hand, he became a mother of 2, 3, 4 children, and they raised them. The same answer is here. You have 2 choices. You send the mother away and she comes back to an empty nest, it's very painful. But to take the kids in front of her, I mean, we cannot really go into the mind of a bird.
Right.
But since your comments are based on human feelings.
Maybe the bird forgets. Maybe once you send the bird away.
So
No, she says, my wife says maybe they forget. I read yesterday.
They forget about their children?
Yeah, the Yerushalmi says that some of the mothers, when they came back, and they saw that the nest is empty, went to the ocean and drowned themselves. Because they felt so bad for.
Wow. So another, this parsha of Shliach HaKen, is it right next to? I don't remember exactly. Right next to Ben Sorer Moreh? Is it like after or before?
Ben Sorer Moreh is at the beginning, and it's not directly.
Okay.
It's a few
I heard something today that they compared Ben Sorer to Moreh to Akedat Yitzhak. So your logic would dictate you never giving up, no matter how bad the child is. You're never going to emotionally give the child over. And the only reason you're doing it is because Hashem asked you to, similar to how Akedat Yitzhak was, and there was a whole darush on it. So, yeah, I guess it would be similar here in some way. I'm not sure, but
we spoke this week. You realize that Tafsubo Aviv Ve'imo means that the parents have to bring him to court.
By the hand, right?
They have to bring him.
right.
If you don't bring him, the Rambam, we read in the Rambam says that the parents can forgive him. The famous question in Ben Sorer Moreh is, I'll read you the Rashi. Rashi says, Amra Torah, Yamut Zakai, I'm reading the Rashi. Smichat HaParshiyot Salim. Why is Ben Sorer Moreh written after Yefat Torah?
That's what will happen.
Im Chasim Alav Aviv Ve'imo.
And she's going to cut it right.
סופו שיצא לתרבות רעה, יעבור עבירות ויתחייב מיתת בדין. Now, so we are killing a kid at the age of 13, not older than 13 or 3 months, based on our analysis of his behavior. The same kids, 5 years from now, the question is by Ishmael, we read on Rosh Hashanah the opposite exactly. Right? Abraham Avinu sent Hagar with Ishmael, ויאכלו המים מן החמת. Rashi says over there that the Malachim came to Hashem and he says, him you're going to save? His children in the future
are going to kill us.
זה קושיה רצינית, if you think about it, זה קושיה רצינית מאוד. What would you answer, Larry? What would you say? שאלה קשה, זה לא סתם.
That whole, to me, that whole story is so too difficult with the.
But we spoke this week that the Torah gave us so many restrictions, as we saw the Rambam, that the Gemara says it's impossible for a case like this,
right,
to ever end up in execution of the kid. But obviously it's written here to teach us a message.
It's one of the same, it's like the same kind of question that Shlomo was asked with the baby. You know, it's and the more you read about it and you read different people's theories about it or the way they analyze it, it's one of those questions that can't be answered.
But okay, so it depends which article you read, but
yeah, I understand. No, it just, those questions are, whether a bird feels or doesn't feel is past.
No, but this is the point. The point is, here the two major Rishonim. The Ramban says, we know, כך אומר Ramban, we know, but התשובה is התשובה. התשובה is, you are going to eat, we eat meat every day. The Torah didn't tell us not to eat. But when you do what you have to do, try to do it. Try to do it
like a Ben Adam,
like with less pain. And I'll give you an example because we were mature adults. One time on the Holocaust Day, I was listening to a program from Israel. The fellow that spoke, his father was a survivor. He says, my father suffered like everyone, but my father can never forget. Listen to this. He says, my father was an amazing musician. if you gave him a violin, he can play whatever you want. Somehow the Nazis found out, listen good, every time they made a party, you can imagine a party, yes, a lot of food, liquor, women, they invited my party. So here is the Jew, the early Jew, playing Bach, Mozart, violin concerto of Beethoven, and they were going crazy from the music. This is for an hour and a half. And here the table is covered from one end to another with the best food, and the man is starving for a piece of bread. By the end, he says, here it is. He used to tell him, okay, we'll let you eat. But before you eat here, you don't deserve to take the food from the table. He shoved all the food into the garbage, and they told him, take the food out of the garbage. He says, this is what his father remembers. Salim, you hear this? I mean, when I heard him, he said, my father couldn't forget it.
How?
He says, and I really did it right. I mean, the answer is, he was beaten, he was starved. He was walking like an Ebed Knani Esapam. But
it's hard to imagine people are we are so inhuman.
Okay, מה התשובה? התשובה היא slowly, תשמע דבר מעניין מאוד מאוד, זה מאוד מאוד מעניין. Your point, אבל תקשיב טוב מה שאני אומר לך עכשיו, תקשיב. Everyone knows that at the end of the parasha, we have the following psukim, yes? לא יבוא עמוני ומואבי בקהל השם. Look in פרק כ"ג, פסוק ה'. Let's read it slow, okay?
Chav Gimel Hey?
Yeah. פרק כ"ג, פסוק ד' קודם.
Okay, I'll say sorry.
לא יבוא עמוני, עמוני means a male convert from Ammon, ומואבי, a male convert, בקהל השם, which means they are 100% converts, and they keep Shabbat and kashrut and tefillin, but you can never marry a Jewish woman because זה הפירוש, אין הפירוש we're not accepting converts from them. גם דור עשירי לא יבוא להם בקהל השם עד עולם. Salim, you're always fast. In the 10th generation, yes, which percentage of the original Ammoni stays? It's I think 1,024. So you multiply first generation half, then anyway. למה לא? על דבר אשר לא קידמו אתכם בלחם ובמים, הדרך בצאתכם ממצרים. So reason number one is hundreds of thousands of Jews are suffering, and they.
But can you go back to the pasuk though? I never understood pasuk Dalet. If they can't be accepted for the forever, why do you have to say Ador Asiri?
יופי. אם אתה רוצה לראות את השאלה באמת.
I mean, I'm sure it does. I mean, you say you're not accepted forever, but not even the 10th generation.
יופי. This year, for the first time, ראיתי את הפס עלינו פשט. תשמע טוב. כגמרא says in מסכת ברכות, אני חושב אולי למדת את זה. כגמרא says in ברכות, למעשה סנחריב mixed all the nations. So in the time of the Tanaim, a convert from Ammon and Moab or Mutar, it says you're not the original one.
But wait a minute, but Rashi doesn't learn convert here, does he?
No, but תקשיב שנייה. אז הוא אומר ככה. הוא אומר, even though they got mixed with others, and legally, yes, legally you can say, well, we are not the original Ammon and Moab. The Torah says, but the seeds, the roots of their behavior is Ad Olam. This is the point of I saw it in
It's sort of like a Pintele Yid in reverse.
exactly in reverse. עכשיו, אם אתה רוצה לראות דבר עמוק מאוד, רות is from Ammon, right? Ruth is Moabia. What comes through Megillat Ruth about this lady? The exact opposite from what the Moabim, yes? She's a beautiful woman.
Chesed. The whole story is Chesed.
But Chesed at the highest level, okay?
Right.
She lets her mother-in-law stay home. She's going to like a beggar to the field, being exposed to predators. This is what the Torah is trying to teach us. לא אכפת לנו מאיפה אתה בא. זאת אומרת, she represented or presented the exact opposite. עכשיו השאלה פה is very obvious. You're accusing two nations of, listen good, not assisting, which is terrible, of course, but the second accusation is you hired Bilam to curse, to annihilate. It's like a joke. Reason number two should be the reason. If a nation can hire someone to kill everyone and they believe that he is able to do it, what is the first reason?
Well, chronologically, the first reason happened first. Because it's easy to understand with the story.
the Magid Midubna is brilliant. This is what he says. He says, if you have a good lawyer, he would say, look, we're not bad. Like hundreds of thousands of people to support food, money, it's too much for us. We didn't have enough. Says the Torah, but you had plenty when you went to hire Bilam. Here it is. So the Bilam is the proof that reason number one is a sheker.
So wait, can you say that over? You didn't have the what? The money?
If you go to international law, they might say individually we're good people, but we see hundreds of thousands of people that we are supposed to support for a few weeks. We simply couldn't.
Oh, but no, but that how? But we told them we were going to pay for them, and we were going to pay, and yes, we also said lo navor, but kerem, but there.
Okay, so what you say, Be'emet, is some Rishonim, because if you look carefully in Sefer Bamidbar, in Parashat Chukat, when Moshe Rabbeinu is begging Edom and Sichon, Kasher Asuli, he says, Kasher Asuli Moab. It seems that they did help. So some of the Rishonim are giving your answer. They say they did, but they charge money for it. How can you charge money?
Did it say Mayim Bakesef Tichre?
Because this is what we suggested to Edom, Kasher Asuli, as ככה אומר הדוב ממגיד, אבל הרמב"ן, there is a very famous Ramban. This is one of the strong Rambans. It pays to read it inside. The Ramban is saying that there are two different accusations to two different nations. He says, על דבר אשר לא קידמו אתכם בלחם ובמים, he says, this is one. The other accusation is, you both came from Lot. Lot survived because of Abraham Avinu. How can you forget that your grandfather, Lot, was adopted, raised, and trained by Abraham, and now the descendants of Abraham are in danger, and you cannot help them? כך אומר הרמב"ן, זה מפורש. אז הוא אומר שיש פה, it's not the two accusations are not against both of them. It says one is לא קידמו אתכם בלחם ובמים, and the other one is על דבר אשר לא קידמו אתכם בלחם ובמים. I saw this week something עמוק מאוד מאוד. I mean, this goes back to what you raised many times, Larry. When you see people that are killing other people, you say, it didn't start by murder. Generations before or years before, this man refused to assist people. He never volunteered. He says the roots always go back generations before. So he learns beautifully. He says, you know why you're hired and you didn't feel a bit to annihilate and kill so many people? Because when you're so hungry, people who are tired and are begging for food and water, and your heart becomes a stone. This level of selfishness are the seeds. ככה הוא אומר, אז התורה כאילו אומרת, of course the עבירה that they are really accused of is hiring, but the Torah is teaching us. This is why what you spoke 2 nights ago, and Jeffrey told us many times, and you saw, yes, all the chesed organizations that we have in the Jewish communities, because this is the DNA, זה ממש, זה לא סתם סיפורים. Who said it? Salim, you said it, or Jeffrey said it? Every Columbia Presbyterian, there's all the names of the big institutions, all the money, regardless how religious you are, because everyone understands it.
But coming back to this, Rabbi Prague, are we allowed to marry a Mitzri? And because I don't understand pasuk.
Good.
And I don't understand Petah, but based on your logic,
by Egyptian, you can marry him on the 3rd generation, which means.
But let me ask you a question. Ammon and Moab, that didn't give us water, we're not allowed to marry. But the Mitzrayim who tortured us and threw our babies into Yam, to the whatever they threw them into Yam, whatever, then we can wait after 3 years.
Yeah, but that's very logical.
Your question is,
because you're not remembering that we were in the land for I don't know how many years before they started doing this.
So Tishma, all the serious commentators, especially those who are from the Bet Midrash of the Maalei Musar Gdolim, are talking about your question. What they're saying is like this: someone is very greedy. Someone is. Let's put Paro. And let's try to be his lawyer. Yes, as I told you around Pesach, Rabbi Kamenetsky says in his Sefer. Do you realize that every Egyptian since the time of Yosef did not own his house or land? Right. Everything belongs to the king, which means that if Mr. Malitsky wants to build a new house, he has to permission, probably he wouldn't give it to him. And all the Jews, the newcomers, they had to do it. This is how Paro was trying to convince people להילחם ועלה מן הארץ. זאת אומרת, so look at the Rashi. Rashi is addressing your question. Look a second. Rashi says, look at pasuk לא תתאר. Yeah.
מה טעם שהיו להם Lachem Aksanya B'Shat Hadchak.
Which means
what Aksanya when?
Aksanya in Egypt. The Jewish people stayed in Egypt 210 years. So Judaism says emet, they killed your children, they oppressed you, they enslaved you, but the Hakarat Tov for giving you a place to stay for 210 years. This is why a 3rd generation Egyptian is permitted.
But Rabbi Prague, if you went to your class in Flatbush and you said Mitzrim, Ammonim, Moavim, whatever, put them in rank of which is the worst of all 3.
Okay, you're right. But this is the point. Listen good. what the Egyptians did is inexcusable. However, it didn't show that they are bad people. Paro is convincing them that they are potential. No. The Nazis is, my wife says the Nazis. The Nazis.
So I was going to say, okay, thank the Rebbetzin, but don't go so far as the Nazis. Go to the Amalek. All right, so they ambushed us when we came out of Mitzrayim. I mean, it's terrible. We know it's so bad, but relative to some of the things that have happened to us over the years, they did it once, and all right, we were, but Asher Kachar Baderech, okay, but relative to some of these other things, in order of terribleness,
Rabbi, didn't you explain this before? I don't know if it was like a couple of years ago, I don't know the exact time. The main thing here is Hakarat HaTov.
This is
that we need to show Hakarat HaTov to Egyptians for the time they let us stay, and they didn't show Hakarat HaTov to Abraham,
except for one thing that we're forgetting. It's very nice we're doing Hakarat HaTov, that after 3 generations we can marry them. Yes. After we killed all their firstborn and ruined the whole country. What Hakarat HaTov? If we had Hakarat HaTov to us, for what?
No, you went to a stranger's land. They took you in. They fed you. They gave you water. They gave you a place to stay. For 80 years, they didn't touch you, and only after that the thing changed. So those 80 years.
So let me ask you a question. By that logic, Salim, I'm going to go out tonight and find a Nazi party, because in Germany, between the wars, there was.
I was thinking about that too.
In the Weimar Republic, they were good to the Jews. So I'm going to. So what they did last. I
understand the logic, but it applies here too. The Germans, before they became the Nazi party.
I'm going to read you the Ramban. And
Rabbi Prague, I would bet, would tell you that he believes that in the DNA of a lot of the German people, this is embedded in them, and this is their tiv of their nature. There you are.
There's no way to do what they did, yes, unless it's part of your DNA. There are unfortunately terrible Jews also. But there is a level of achzariyut.
And that may be Amalek too. I see. I could understand.
Rabbi Avigdor Miller says, in his times, he says, a Jewish carpenter was accused of killing someone. Listen carefully what the lawyer says to the judge. He says, if you accuse us of we deceive people, emet. We cheat, emet. We steal, emet. But check the history of the Lithuanian government, you wouldn't find a case that a Jew was accused in killing. After a month, the judge dismissed the case because the Jews are oppressed, they have to support families, they need money, they'll cheat, they'll do this. Everything is wrong. But he says, but to kill, Ayom, unfortunately, Ayom, if you really read, I mean, I used to have 2 CDs, and how the Nazis were raised from elementary till high school. That we are the worst creatures on earth. Yes, we are. But tomorrow the Rambam, the Nikuda, I mean, this is the way I was raised, and what Salim says. Hakarat HaTov, deep inside, yes. You cannot deny it. You cannot deny Hakarat HaTov. Rabbi Shmulevitz brings the following.
You could say that it can go far back to with Abraham and Sarah in Mitzrayim too.
But ויהי רעב בארץ, וירד אברהם מצרימה לגור שם, כי כבד הרעב, right? He came with money to preserve his money, and right away his wife was taken away from him, yes? But here is the entire nation, yes? the entire nation.
And Rashi will say there they were Shtufei Zima anyway, so it's
This is why Abraham was so afraid.
right.
Let's put it this way. If we know the history of our nation, remember the Israel that we know today is not the original. Tamid, what was the benchmark of Jewish people is all the organizations that Gemilut Chasadim, yes, Tomchei Shabbat, yes, Bikur Cholim. But in real schools, this is the way you raise the kids. I told you a million times, my wife's aunt was in Maimonides, there, near Maimonides. Before Shabbat, I see a Chassid dressed,
In Maimonides.
Oh, with the Satmar visiting the
Yes.
Bikur Chol.
I have the picture, as I'm saying it, I see it because I saw it 2 weeks in a row. It happens to be a tall guy with a Streimer, dressed with a
It's not normal.
son and a daughter, maybe 4 and 5, holding 2 bags, fresh cake and kuchen. And they go from patient to patient. אפשר בלתי רוב משתיק להייסה כאילו, I mean, this stays with the kid for the rest of his life. Because he had to be dressed much before Shabbat. And mommy had to prepare already the kugel. And you have to have your basket. And you have,
It's Friday night. It's Friday before Shabbos.
this is before Shabbos when Leah was
By Maimonides Senior Center.
right, but
The rehab.
All these look at, just use Jeffrey. Use Jeffrey as an example. And it's where's chesed like this?
Yeah.
And it's not normal. What some people do when they go and that, but you're true, that story, there's at the simplest form. It's like it's Rabbi Progress again. It's like Imlo Lamalam, he said. A simple thing, a Chotevet Sim, or someone who comes early and his wife prepares and he goes to places and does these things. It's something. It's really something to watch.
Aguda in the 70s produced, at that time was new, a video collection of people, old people who are still alive, people who survived the Holocaust. One of them was from the Upper West Side. His name was, you see his picture, but I forgot his name. Anyway, he says, in the ghetto, it was a ghetto. Me and my sister were starving. But every time we had a slice of bread, we wanted another one. My mother used to say, but there are many kids out there, but they're also hungry. They didn't have anything. So imagine you grow up. Why should you? Why should I care for the kids in the street? This is, unfortunately, many people don't know that this is the neshama of the Jewish people. Okay, so מחר בבוקר אנחנו לומדים את 7:15, okay?
Rabbi Prague, my professor in Columbia, used to say, he would say, is that they would the Yanku Mishtei Imam. Then if you don't, in other words, when he talked about learning and love for Tanakh and words and ideas, he said, it doesn't come naturally. It has to come. It's almost genetic. It has to be in your system, and it makes it's an amazing concept of whether it just you're nourished by this, and it stays with you. And I believe that so much of that is true.
Oh, רואים את זה עד היום הזה, yes. רואים את זה עד היום. Come, did you ever see a station of תומכי שבת? בוא פעם, on 39, and you know, hundreds and hundreds of pounds of food, and smart enough, of course, they have a sign regardless you are Jewish or not, regardless. But
yeah, listen, I spoke to my cousin, what's going on for clothes before Yontif.
Yeah.
All these, there are so many, you know how many places there are now that have this? And this is one Tipasha B'Tava, what the Rebbitzin does with Bambi. Where do you get a person like Bambi? I mean, you see what she does to so many people, my God.
You know, she,
Aline, do you know about that organization?
I think so. They do it during Pesach, right before Pesach.
Oh, no, this lady does it year round.
Oh, okay.
If you look up BAMBI in Yerushalayim, it's you look at this woman and she
my wife might send you now an envelope, not envelope, but a brochure. This is a lady that didn't have children all her life. She was a midwife.
She delivered about 40,000 babies.
And she delivered approximately 40,000 babies. And very often she realized that some of the mothers are so poor. And okay, so my wife and her friends are in charge here in America, and the people in Europe do it. In the other countries, they raise a lot.
Tomorrow, Salim, you and I are going to go up and we're going to go to the bakery. All right, I don't need 2 challahs. I'll get 3 challahs, and everybody needs a shtickle cake. And here, I never knew that I couldn't do that. I wouldn't know what it means not to. And these people, this woman makes sure that people have something for Shabbos. I mean, because we are living in such a rarefied atmosphere. You don't like that challah, a raisin challah, not a raisin challah, a salt challah, pretzel challah. There are people who don't even have it. We don't even know it. We don't even see it. When did you see a person who doesn't have?
You know, there's a famous story that a man came to the Beit HaLevi. It was the father of Chaim of Greece. My wife says I should say the Beit HaLevi. He came to him and he says, "Can you listen good? Can you be yotzei arba kosot milk? Obviously,
okay, very interesting. Why? Yes,
very, very famous. So the Beit HaLevi gave him a lot of money, not much more than money for wine or grapes. So he says to him, but the man didn't have wine. He says, if he didn't have wine, means he doesn't have meat or chicken to meat, otherwise he would never be able to eat.
Right.
It says a lot is supposed to essen, doctor.
We don't think like that. What, Salim, in my neighborhood, I'm going to go out now. I'm going to see loads of. I'll see not of us, but others. And we don't see our brothers and sisters who don't have. They don't have clothes. And if you have a little bit in the neshama, just a drop, you just one little.
That we don't have the right PR. We don't have a right PR, or we have the negative PR in our deal.
There are a lot, Rabbi. There's many organizations in our own community. In our own community that deal with these issues. We don't see it because we're insulated from them. But if you deal with the right organizations, even here in the country so rich, we have these problems within our own community.
Without Jeffrey, we would never find out really.
Right.
About the kidney.
Jeffrey with the liver, not the kidney.
Right. When people do it, you hear these stories, and they're heartwarming because you realize how much chesed there is. You realize when everyone does a little something, it changes the world. One little thing. We don't have to, like Rabbi Prague says, don't take 1,000 things. Pick one thing. 1,000 things you won't do. Maybe you'll do one thing, but we don't see it, whatever.
Larry, where everybody, all us Jews are helping all these organizations.
Yeah.
Yourself up or beat any of us up about it. We're all doing so much and supporting so many organizations.
Baruch Hashem, we can
do it. We should be able to continue.
Laila Tov, I'll see you tomorrow morning.
Are you driving? Are you ready in the country?
Yeah, I have no idea. The rain, the bucket.
Oh, you had. What time did you leave?
I had to go to the dentist, so I was in Paramus about 1:30, and from 1:45 to 2, the miles and miles of the rain was.
All right, hi Rebbitzin. All right, go enjoy the weekend, Rabbi Prague. Rest up.
To tell you, who's this? Salim?
That's Salim.
Hi, how are you?
It's always good to see you, Rebbitzin.
He's going to send you now a show for Bambi.
Yeah, it's really, just go online on Bambi. It's really something special.
Because you're going to get the Disney character.
I've seen it. I think we did it for Passover, if I remember correctly.
Laila Tov. Have a
Laila
safe
Tov. Thank
night.
you, Rabbi.
Be
Shabbat
safe.
Shalom.
Shabbat shalom, Rabbi.
Shabbos Salim. Thank you, Shalom Jeff.
You too, you too.
Shabbat Shalom.
Bye-bye.
That's what I'm
Bye.
Okay, Larry, where'd Larry go?
He also disappeared.
Larry, get
He
him back.
disappeared. You can't.
Call him up. Okay, I have to tell